just like Drew. Just like Drew. It's way time for both of them to pay. How many months it's been now? The whole doggone year. But yeah, Sewell has photos of Laura and Sonny with Dalton's body. And he finna force Laura to do whatever he wants by using Ace. Because at first she still was saying no. She still was saying no. And Ace started crying. I said, see, Sonny, this is your fault. This is your doggone fault. Rocco was saying if no one saw Gio and Emma break in to get the dolls, then they should be okay. And Dante showed up. He just walked in, and I said, uh-oh. I said, they go to snitch. Y'all going to jail now. And he wanted to take them to jail. He definitely did want to take them to jail. Molly saw Cody and Britt kissing. She got upset, and she left. Curtis told Jordan that he couldn't go through with it, and Trina and Kai finna find out who shot Drew. But hey, y'all. Welcome back to another review of Life of Chester for General Hospital, December 4th, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned. Lord Jesus. I was trying to end it. It just got started. I was to stay tuned for the next video. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. But first, we're going to start with Emma, Gio, Rocco, Sonny, Rick. So they done brought the dolls in there. And they was just talking about where the dolls came from. And Rick ends up telling Emma and Gio, you know, y'all just made Rocco an accomplice. He already facing all these charges. And y'all just brought these dogs here. And he was just trying to explain things to them. So they started talking about, you know, how the charges can be avoided or how they could leave him out of it and all this other good stuff. And Dante walked in. Wait, I skipped the part. Before Dante walked in, Gio was saying, not Gio, Rocco was saying, if no one saw them break in and take the animals, then, you know, nothing can be done about it. And Dante walked in. And I said, uh-oh, there go the snitch. I said, y'all as good as in jail now. And he wanted to arrest him. He definitely did. He still was going back and forth with Gio. He turned around and started going off on Gio, talking about how he put his little brother in jeopardy and he made everybody there be in trouble and all this other stuff. And I said, well, you halfway right. Emma right there, too. She's at fault as well. I said, they just ain't gonna never repair it. Not repair it, because they never really had a full relationship as father and son. But yeah, I said, they just never going to be back on good terms, are they? He just started, and Sonny told him that's enough. And he tried to explain things to him. He did. But Rocco ended up saying, if you don't, you know, call the police or take them in or whatever, then I'll come home with you. I said, I thought he came there to get you either way it go. I said, look, in my mind, I'm like, you got to go home either way it goes. I said, this ain't no negotiation. I said, you got to go home either way it goes. Sonny said you could stay there then, but he didn't say you could stay there for good. I said, nuh-uh. But yeah, Rick said Gio and Emma made Rocco an accomplice. Is there anything else that happened with them? Dante and Sonny was just talking about Rocco and Gio. Sonny was telling him how he has 2 sons and they both need him. I said, exactly. And I said, dawg, I was hoping that eventually they work things out. It seemed like it's getting worse. But yeah, he done showed up, and I said, he finna take y'all to jail. But they just was saying how the good thing is that they say the animals, but they still not getting it. Hello. It is a good thing that y'all say the animals, but at the same time, like Rick said, you just made him an accomplice. It made it seem like he was involved, and he wasn't. But yeah, I said Sonny tells Dante he has 2 sons, and they both need him. They was having a conversation about Rocco and Gio, and the last thing was Rocco saying that he'll go home with him if he don't have them arrested. So he ends up leaving. But yeah, I'm liking the scenes with Sonny and Rick. I just hope it continues. I'm ready to see Sonny actually take down Sewell or somebody, because Sonny ain't doing no good job. Shoot, I can't believe this. Well, I can believe it. I don't know why I haven't seen nobody mention how Sewell would have evidence, I don't think. But yeah, he got photos. I said, so he was lurking the whole time. But yeah, next we got Alexis, Christine, and Molly. They were just talking about Scout and Willow and Drew wedding, and how Willow seems to really care about Scout and how they happy to have Scout there. And she said she couldn't go into details about Willow's case. But yeah, they ended up trying to get Molly to meet up with Cody, because Cody had texted saying how he wanted her to come there and everything. Look, she done got all dressed up, and I said, dog it. I was saying, Cody, turn around. I was hoping Jason seen it or somebody give him a warning. He's just sitting there, don't even know what's going on. But yeah, I said, dog, every time they get closer, somebody interrupt some type of way. Now Britt want to sit up here and kiss him. Then gonna tell Jason, then you kiss me or whatever. I said, you done had enough lips. You done had enough lips for one day, girl. But is she passing out on tomorrow's episode because she drunk because of, you know, her illness? But yeah, I said you could have had Jason, because the way he was watching her, but we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get to that. But yeah, Alexis and Christina urged Molly to go. She got dressed up. She showed up, and that's when she seen Cody dancing with Britt. Then Britt gonna kiss him, and she seen that she got upset and she left. She came back to the house or whatever. She said she went and Cody was there, and she just threw her stuff down and she ran upstairs. I said, Cody, Cody, Cody. I mean, it's not your fault, but at the same time, it's like, you shouldn't agree to dance with her. You should tell her no. I mean, he did tell her no, but she kept on and kept on. But yeah, I'm assuming he gonna try to explain things to her, but we'll see. Or either Molly gonna tell Christina and them, and Christina gonna be the one to tell Cody what happened or what she witnessed. Kai and Trina. So Trina was saying how it's the worst holiday ever, and she was just worried about one of her parents going to jail for shooting Drew. And she was talking about how once again she thought that it could have been Portia, but now it could have been Curtis. And Kai was just trying to get her to see that neither one of them would allow Willow or anybody to take the blame for something they did. And he wanted her to work with him to find out who did it. And at first she was like, she don't want to know because it could have been her parents and stuff. And that's when he was saying how they wouldn't allow them to take the fall if they knew they did it. So then she finally agreed. She finally agreed to help figure out who it is. And I said, so they the ones? I said, don't tell me they finna be the ones to find out who did it. Come on now. I said, come on now. They finna be the ones. But yeah, hold on, what else? Let me see if it's anything I'm missing about them. I think the last things Trina said if one of her parents shot Drew, it was because of her, because all of this started because Portia changed the test results for Heather. She changed the test results because she wanted to keep her away from her, and he was just trying to encourage her and stuff like that. He was just supporting her. They said he's supposed to be leaving the show. They said Willow's supposed to be leaving the show. They said the guy that played Kai's supposed to be leaving the show, and it was somebody else. I said, now the whole half the cast leaving now. What's going on? Now this is all alleged because y'all know sometimes people just be talking. But hold on. Let's see if it's anything about Trina and them. Trina agrees to help find out who really shot Drew. I think that was the last thing with them. Next, we got Curtis and Jordan. So they still sitting at the table, and that's when he was like, he don't want to lie to her. He ends up telling Jordan that he was with Selena. He wanted her to murder Drew. She was like, so you going to make me an accomplice after the fact or whatever, by including me? And he was like, no. And she was like, but you still haven't told me if he went through with it. And he was like, he didn't. But he was over here looking at stuff. He made a face when he was hugging her. I said, they trying to manipulate us. They trying to trick us. Either he did or he didn't. Who did it then? Who did it? We want to know. But yeah, he said that he couldn't go through with it. She was like, she knew that, and they was just kissing again. I said, that's enough. That's enough of that. He's still married. He's still married. I know his wife don't care nothing about their vows because she been did more than kissing multiple times. And nobody still walked. I said, Trina and Kai talking about some, they want to figure out who shot you. Y'all need to be walking in on her so to get this on out the way. But yeah, I skipped over the part about, well, we haven't really talked fully about Cody and Britt. Let's see. Was there anything else about Curtis and Jordan? I think the last thing was they end up kissing. Spinelli and Jason. Spinelli was just talking to Jason about going to visit Maxie. That's something else y'all said. Some of y'all said that Maxie's supposed to be returning this year and she ain't came back yet. She hasn't came back yet. But yeah, he was talking about going to visit her, and he wondering if he gonna get any more good days, or he gonna get any more days with her and stuff like that. And Jason was just encouraging him, but he couldn't fully be, involved in the conversation because he too busy watching Britt like a hawk, watching her with Cody. She was over there. She reunited with Cody. She had got drunk, and he was just couldn't take his eyes off her. I said, just go get your woman at this point. Just go and get your woman at this point. But yeah, he kept on watching her, and Spinelli seen it. Before Spinelli got ready to go, he ended up telling him, he has gotten a chance to know Cody, and he's a man of great character or whatever. But yeah, he was watching like a hawk. And Rick kept asking Cody to dance. He finally agreed they was dancing stuff. That's when Molly had came in and seen them dancing. Next thing you know, she just kissed him out of nowhere. And Molly seen it, she got upset, she left. So he told her, no, it's somebody else in the picture or whatever. He was talking about Molly, he was talking about Molly, obviously. Hold on. So that's when he went sit down and he was looking at the text message he sent to Molly, and it was red, and he was wondering where she was. Jason came over there with Britt. She trying to get some more alcohol. I said, you don't need nothing else, girl. And so the next thing you know, he told her she gonna get some water, and she told him he can't tell her what to do. That ain't what he said, but I mean that ain't what she said, but yeah, he felt like she was putting on the show, and she mentions the kiss, and she was like, well, you could kiss me or whatever. And I said, you don't had enough lips on you today. You need to sit down somewhere. So I'm assuming he takes her home because she going to be in her place when it looked like she fouled. So I was like, okay, did she foul because she drunk? Or did she foul because of her Huntington's? Because she got the medicine, right? Don't the medicine supposed to be working? I don't know. But yeah, that's all that happened with them. Next we got Laura, Sidwell, Ezra. So Laura sees the Sidwells outside. She lets them in. So then he over here implying that she's the one who murdered Dawson. She's like, she ain't did nothing. And he took out a photo. He took out a photo where she at the trunk with Dawson's body or whatever. I said, dog, got it. I said, I bet he got Sonny too, and he did. He did. So she at first was still denying it. She kept telling him she ain't did nothing or whatever. And he over here just trying to use her. So he want her to work for him. So he took out another photo of Sonny and her together with Dawson's body. And I said, dog, it look like he's gonna be talking to Sonny on tomorrow's episode. So I see, excuse me. So I said, see, Sonny, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. You're supposed to be a mobster. You don't supposed to consider nobody's feelings. Especially now when they run around blowing up places and stuff like that. He done did too much. I said, see what more of a mobster than Sonny? I think the last thing we seen Sonny do, aside from grab Marco, was when he murdered the FBI agent. Other than that, unless I'm mistaken, but I think that was the last real thing that he did. This man been in town for months now, probably about a year now, or almost a year. And you ain't did nothing. He continue to do whatever he gonna do. And I want to know how they gonna get out of this. I want to know how they gonna get out of this. Because eventually, even if Laura does what he wants, he gonna want something that she ain't gonna want to do. So you might as well go on. I think Laura's probably talking to Kevin, and I think she was like, she can't go turn herself in because she gonna implicate Sonny. And they be itching to get him. They gonna be itching to get him. They probably be like, if you flip on Sonny and say he the one who did it all, then you free to go. That's exactly what they gonna do. But yeah, next thing you know, somebody knock on the door, and she's like, just ignore them, they'll go away. So he opens the door, and it's Ezra. And Ezra, old slimy tail, gonna slime his way up in there. He done came in there. So he said that basically they're gonna be working together. He wants he wants Ezra to communicate what he wants to Laura or whatever. And she still was telling them to get out and all this other stuff. So Ace started crying on her baby money. So I said, dog it. He's like, well, he told her that everybody could be bought, and he just found the thing that's gonna get her. It's Ace. And she was upset after he left and everything. I said, see, you should never call Sonny. You should have did what you was gonna do at first. He was saying also he thought she would have called the police and stuff like that, but she did an even better job by calling Sonny. I said, right, you could have just called the doggone police. Now they did once again have you on video threatening him, but at the same time, now you don't got him in trouble. You done got him in trouble or whatever. I said, see where I had to go at this point. He had to get up out of there. I think one way they could get out of it is if Britt come forward and tell what she saw. But shoot, I doubt that'll happen. We'll see though. The last thing is Sonny and Dante, but we already talked about that, about how he was trying to encourage him and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have a great rest of the day and be safe.